Hello, and welcome. This is our YouTube live. This is actually already Thursday, and I wanted to give a quick update. I had a lot of questions this week about current topics that actually started this week, and I wanted to do this live to kind of explain some of those things. I want to go over the announcement that the USCIS, the Immigration Service, literally are running out of money, and what is the impact of this on immigrants? What is going to be the implications of this agency requesting a bailout, and also indications as to what's happening with immigration applications now during the COVID-19. This is a clear sign that something's going on. So I'll give you kind of my take on this. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a judge in New York that is considering imposing an injunction on the public charge rule because things have changed. Guess what? We are in the midst of a pandemic, and and they're trying to force people to be concerned whether they take some benefits or medical assistance. This is not the time to do that. So we have a judge in New York that possibly could put a temporary injunction on the implementation of the public charge rule. So we can talk about that as well. And also we have families, or mixed families of immigrants filed a lawsuit May 15 against the government for discriminating them from receiving checks under the first stimulus, basically saying that they're treated as second-class citizens, and they filed this lawsuit against the government. So those things are happening. At the same time, we have a lot of people that are anxious because the interviews were canceled, and they're getting ready for to reopen the immigration. So immigration is going to reopen on June 4th. So we'll see what happens there. So let's talk about and by the way, welcome everybody that is joining me. Let me know where you're from. Click the like. I know it's very late here and I was working a little bit late, but I decided to come on and do this live to give you some updates. So those of you that wake up in the morning will see this video right there and get the information. So the Immigration Service announced that they're seeking a bailout of $1.2 billion because if they don't get this money by the end of June, they're going to be in serious trouble, and this is crazy. So this is the agency that controls immigration. Now, what's happening is that since the crisis started, apparently less and less people were actually filing applications, right? So if you remember, I mentioned in previous videos, people are asking me, is the Immigration Service, are they accepting applications? Are they open? Yes, they are open. And I was telling my clients, go ahead and file I-130s. Go ahead and file I-140s. Don't wait. Many people were waiting. And that's why this is happening, because people were scared. They didn't file cases. They didn't file their citizenship. They didn't file their... And so with the immigration, that's one, of course, that's one of the issues. It's not the main issue. So the Immigration Service, obviously, if they don't get applications, they don't get, guess what? They don't get money, right? And so in my cases, and many other attorneys who are filing, you can still file during the pandemic. In fact, you should be filing because right now, guess what? They're not busy. And so they'll be able to, I called yesterday to get an inquiry on one of my cases. I called the USCIS, and guess what? Somebody picked up the phone after 2 rings. Yes, that never happened in the history of USCIS, right? So that's one thing. So people were kind of holding off and not filing. But at the same time, if you think about it, in the past 2 years, with all their RFEs, with all the case denials, more and more people were not interested in filing cases. But also at the same time, because they had so many requests for evidence, because they had so many problems with the cases, they had to hire more people. In 2016, the agency had about 115,000 employees across the board. In 2019, they had almost 125,000. So they had more people working for them, but less cases are being filed. Well, guess what? There's going to be a deficit, right? And so, I think that, what's going to happen is that as they reopen, that's what I'm saying, it's all connected. As they reopen, you're going to see that we're going to be experiencing severe delays. So if right now you guys are waiting for 5 months to get a work permit, once they reopen, I anticipate it's going to be 8 to 9 months before a work permit is going to be issued. If you guys are waiting for a green card to be issued within 10 months right now, guess what? It's going to be 14 months to 15 months because of the severe delays they're going to have, right? And the same thing is going to happen at the U.S. embassies overseas. As soon as they reopen those embassies, there's going to be backlog. Right now, we take opportunities right now, and I did a video, I think yesterday or the day before, how to make an inquiry with the USCIS and NVC. Make sure you do those inquiries. I mean, we call from our office, we call every single day for our cases, NVC, USCIS, because we want to make sure that those cases are being worked on. If you're not going to be proactive about your case, guess what? Nobody's going to care about it. Trust me, immigration is not going to go and call you and tell you to, give you status. You have to be proactive about it, because once they reopen, there's going to be a massive influx of people that are going to be filing and waiting for their appointments. So it's very important to stay active. Call your agency. If it's an embassy, if it's the NVC, if it's USCIS, you have to stay on top of your case, right? If there's going to be an injunction on public charge, which I think there may be, if there's going to be an injunction, it's still not going to change the fact that you still have to meet the requirements of financial support. It's probably going to make it less strict and maybe a bit more favorable, but you still have to meet those requirements. I can tell you that when USCIS is going to open on June 4th, people that were scheduled, right? People that were scheduled in April, late March, are going to go first in line, right? So going to go, first in, first out. But the people that had interviews later on, they're going to have to wait. So it's your job to call them and inquire on your cases to make sure that they're going to push those cases forward, and you're going to be able to you're going to be able to get your appointments on time. People have questions about. We have questions about people that are stuck overseas and they're trying to come in right now. How they can how they can get status from the embassy. Well, guess what? Embassies are starting to reopen. Tel Aviv, they reopened 2 days ago. We know that the U.S. Embassy in Paris, they're starting to take appointments. So embassies are slowly starting to reopen. It's your job, guys, to email them to find out if your post is working. We have cases in Tel Aviv right now, and Tel Aviv is starting to take appointments. So this is a federal agency. If an embassy in Tel Aviv is open, and if an embassy in France is open, guess what? Other countries are going to start opening up as well. So your job is to email your embassy and make sure that your interview is scheduled. You guys, if you guys are watching right now and you have a DV lottery, and I've done quite a few videos on that, your interview is scheduled, you got to be on it, because you have 2 months until September to get that interview scheduled. So just kind of to summarize this, those news about USCIS in deficit, they're not going to close. The agency is not going to close. But what it is, it's a sign for us to let you know, guys, that cases, they're working. They need our money desperately. So they need people to file cases. But what I ask them to do is to be more reasonable with cases. I ask them to be more understanding when people are filing. Instead of denying so many cases, they should be more flexible and allow people to file, because people are honestly scared to file. That's why, I think it's the first time in history of USCIS where they don't have enough cases to support themselves. That tells you something, that people are fed up, and it's just frustrating. So, but at the same time, they're working. So if you need to process a case, by all means file it, because guess what? They're bored. They're going to be more than happy to work on your case. So let me take a few questions, and then we'll end the stream. Like I said, I wanted to come on here and explain what the issue is with the USCIS deficit. Also, it's really important to know that they are going to impose a 10% surcharge on applications, probably sometime in June. We don't know exactly when. Because they have a surcharge, because they have a deficit in fees, they're going to impose a 10% surcharge on all applications. It's going to be more expensive to file cases. And it's just unfortunate that it's going to happen, but just so you know. So if you have a case ready to go, file it now before they increase the surcharge. And finally, people are asking me about the public charge. I think there may be an injunction, I'm not sure, but that's kind of something that is floating around, and I'll update you guys as well. I'm working on videos about how to get a stamp on your 751 if your green card is expiring. I'm going to make a video this week about that. I'm going to make a video about some changes that are coming up right now with what's happening with DACA and update. So lots of good stuff coming, guys. And it's amazing how many people are watching this. This is like almost 1 a.m. in California. So I don't know where you guys are at, but you are amazing. And I appreciate all of you, because it's almost 1 a.m. and I'm still doing videos here. So let me take me a few questions, and then I'll go to sleep because I'm super tired. By the way, if you are here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click that like, because if you don't click the like, YouTube is not going to show my video to anybody. Nobody's going to see the video. So once again, I thank you all. There's more than 100 people live right now. So let's take a question for Mario. Mario is saying, see here, a question for you. For the appointment for the interview at MVC, will they send me an email, right? Yes, they're going to send you an email. This is at the embassy, but you have to follow up with the MVC yourself. Let's take another question from, let's see here, from Eric. What do you think is the likelihood of TN visas being suspended, since by agreement, it's hard. Also, TN holders cross the borders every day. I don't think TN visas are going to be suspended, my friend. TN visas are here to stay. It's based on an agreement. It's very different than H-1B. Let's take another question from Nagasai. Do you think there will be a backlash on OPT extension? Well, I think that there may be actually a suspension of OPT based on what Trump said. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Isla is saying, I received a message last March that I'll take form H-1B lottery for the April. Then they will inform me if my name is selected. What do you mean? What this means? If you were not selected yet, so typically if you're selected in a lottery for the H-1B, that means your employer can file for your case. So I don't know, but last year it was different. Last year it was actually an announcement. Once again, guys, if you're here watching for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And also, we have a Facebook group that I specifically created for people that follow our videos. So I'll post a link. There's 100 people here. I'm going to post a link. And also, if you guys are interested in setting up a consultation with me, make sure that you, I'll post here this. Make sure that you text me right here on this number, 619-569-1768. You can text this number if you have a particular question about your specific case that I can't answer in public. You're welcome to text this number, 619-569-1768, and one of our beautiful law office members will help you set up a consultation with me so I can help you solve your specific problem. Let's take another question. And this one is from Elizabeth. My friend has to go to court for immigration. What does he have to take? He's 17. Well, it's a very specific question. I don't know what kind of why he's in court. So you can you can text me and send me a DM. Let's take another question from. Here we go. I already answered your question. I want to give people an opportunity for other people. Liam, do you think the USCIS would extend its closure? It seems like the Department of Labor is processing the perm faster. Do you think the I-140 suspension will end soon? So the I-140 premium processing will end probably by July. USCIS is going to open on June 4th, I hope, because embassies are reopening. And as far as DOL, It's definitely fast right now. So, but I think they're gonna reopen, guys. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see. Let me take one more question, and so sorry, H1B, we take to stamping. I already applied. I'm currently in Texas, USA. So once they reopen the consulates, there's going to be quite a few delays to get stamping, right? So anyway, guys, this was just a quick live. I just wanted to update you on USCIS deficit, potential injunction for public charge, and come here answer some questions. And also thank you for being amazing followers, subscribers. You are the best. Hopefully each one of you subscribe to my channel, and we'll be able to see our videos. I do videos every single day, and it's the first time that I go live at 1 a.m. And as you can see, I'm a little bit tired, but I'm doing my best to give you the information. So join the Facebook group. The link is in the description of this video. I want to see you on the other side. I do more private content over there and give you some information, right? So I want to see those likes. Thank you guys from San Diego. It's 1 a.m. here. I'm super tired. I'll take one last question from T-Bass. What will be a wise course of action if you have an H-1B renewal and the transfer H-1B is happening at the same time, if the transfer comes through first before the renewal? So, it's basically, remember that when you file for a transfer, you can start working for the new employer at the same time, so right away. So if the transfer comes before the renewal, you basically can take that first action and use the transfer. They call this the first action rule, if it makes sense. All right, guys, I'm going to bed, I'm going to sleep. Thanks for being amazing followers, and watch for a video tomorrow. It's about DACA, good stuff. So I'll see you in the next video. Have a beautiful night. Stay safe, and you're the best. Thank you, guys.